All right, we are going to look at two different forms of quadratics. The first is standard form. A lot of times you will see the standard form written as y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We don't like standard form because it's a little bit harder to graph without a calculator. We like the vertex form. This one I can pull straight from the equation that the vertex is positive 2, negative 4. I can also see that it will be reflected because of the negative, and that it has a vertical stretch of 3, which actually makes the graph skinnier. So we like vertex form. A lot of times you'll see it written as y equals a x minus h squared plus k. So today we're going to look at going back and forth between these two forms, standard form and vertex form. We're going to do it the easy way since we're remote, and for standard form you're going to go to your calculator. We're going to do number 1. Go to y equals and just type in the equation. Now I know right from the beginning, since there's no reflection, there's no negative out front, it's going to face upwards. It will have a minimum point. So press graph, double check your equation, make sure it's typed in correctly, and it is. Okay, you can also adjust your window. Obviously, this is in quadrant 2. I need to see a little bit further left on the x and a little bit higher on the y. So if I go to window, I'm going to make my y max like 20 so I can see further up, and my x minimum, let's just make that negative 20. That should adjust my window a little bit so I can see more of the graph. Okay, so to do this, to find the vertex, you press second trace minimum in this case, since there's no negative out front of the equation, it's a minimum. Second trace minimum, enter, and then you use the cursive. See how it says left bound? You go to somewhere on the left hand side of the vertex and press enter. Then it says right bound, so then you hold down the right arrow, press enter, and then it'll say guess and press enter. So my vertex is at negative 8, positive 7. So all you do is take the vertex form that we wrote down on the other sheet. The a values are the same, so my a value is 1 because the standard form also had a 1. Those will always be the same. And then I plug in my vertex. Remember, the sign will always change of just the first number. And there's your standard form equation. If you want to check if you've done it right, you can go back and put it in y2 and make sure that it graphs the exact same as the first one. Perfect. That's all you're going to do. Just keep in mind, if there's a negative out front, like on number 3, this is going to flip the graph upside down, and this will be a maximum. So when you find the vertex form of this one, you'll have to, let's clear everything out, type in your new equation, and make sure when you type in the equation for the negative, you use the small negative sign at the bottom. Okay, so negative x squared, oops, try that again, negative x squared minus 14x minus 59, graph. So again, like I said, this one is going to have a maximum, and check, make sure you typed it in correct, yes. It's not on my screen. I'm going to press zoom 6, that'll get us back to the normal window, and I still can't see my equation. So let's just change the window altogether to negative 30, just make it a little bit bigger. Y minimum, it'll go down to negative 30 and go up to positive 30. You might have to mess with this window depending on the problem. Like I see on number 4, we have 170. So you might really have to change that, y maximum to probably 200. I'll probably have to change this one again in number 3. Oh, that works. Okay. So then for this one, to find the vertex, you're going to press second trace maximum. And then left bound, I'm going to hold down that cursor to get to the left-hand side of the graph, press enter, hold it down for right bound. Anywhere on the right-hand side will work. Enter, and then one more time when it says guess, you press enter. So negative 7, negative 10 is the vertex. So we're going to use the vertex form equation. So my a value is the same. My a value will be -1 because that's what it was here in standard form. And then when I plug in the first value, it will just change signs. Because remember, we talked about it's always opposite of what you would think inside the parentheses. Since it's x plus 7, this is actually a shift left 7. And so then this is my vertex form. Of course, you can always graph it in y2 and make sure it perfectly maps on top of the standard form equation. Make sure it's the exact same. Okay, so that's how you're going to go from standard form to vertex form. A values are the same, then plug in the vertex, changing the sign of the first number. All right, one more. Now I'm going to show you the directions here. Actually, just want you to identify the vertex, which I already know the vertex here is +2, -4. But anyways, I want to show you how to go from vertex form to our standard form. For these, I'll just do it out to the side. You're going to write down the x minus 2. You're going to write that down twice. It's the same thing as squaring it. And then you have the -4. So all you do to get to standard form is start with parentheses. You're using your order of operation or PEMDAS. You always start with parentheses first. So you're going to FOIL these together. So you get x squared minus 2x minus 2x. And then -2 times -2 is +4. I can combine these two in the middle to be -4x plus 4. And then I have my -3 out front and my -4 on the end. So now you're going to distribute the -3, multiply it to all three parts inside of the parentheses. You always go in this order every single time. Always FOIL the parentheses first, then distribute the a value. And then at the very end, your last step is to combine the last two numbers. You'll always do that at the very end. So then you have y equals -3x squared plus 12x minus 16. Here's our standard form equation. So again, if you'd like to check, you can type in your vertex form that they give you. Just make sure that negative out front, you don't use the big minus sign, you use the negative sign at the bottom of the calculator. Desmos is actually easier for this. For Desmos, all you have to do, like if you're graphing the standard form and you want to find the vertex form, all you have to do is just click at the bottom if it's a minimum, or click at the top. So you don't have to do the whole second trace thing on Desmos. Okay, so now I have both. I just am checking that they overlap each other and that they're the exact same equation. I didn't make any algebra errors. Perfect. So that's how you go from vertex form to standard form. You just FOIL, distribute the a, then add the loose number on the end. Go ahead and try the rest. The answer key is actually attached to the same document. Thank you, guys.